going to move on, because there is another very significant story that one needs to tell you. The National Commission for the Protection of Child Rights, no less, has sought legal action and issued a directive to the Uttar Pradesh government to register an FIR against Darul Uloom Deoband, an Islamic education center located in Saharanpur, over a fatwa issued by it on its website. Now viewers, the fatwa validates a concept called Ghazwa-E-Hind and allegedly glorifies, quote, martyrdom in the context of India's invasion, unquote. Now here's what the fatwa states. It states that the holy raid of India is valid from the Islamic point of view. That means Ghazis, viewers, can flow across from the border, from Pakistan, from Afghanistan, from wherever, whichever basket case country, and basically invade our country to establish a caliphate. It says whoever sacrifices for the invasion of India will be a great martyr. Can you imagine, viewers, a seminary in charge of grooming young minds is validating this nonsense? This seditious nonsense? The fatwa, viewers, claims that the Prophet's close aide, Hazrat Abu Huraira, validated holy war on India. Fatwa claims that Hazrat Abu Huraira said, quote, I will fight for it and will sacrifice all my wealth for it. If I die, I will be a great sacrifice, unquote. If I remain alive, quote, I will be called Ghazi, a Muslim warrior, unquote. So viewers, what is it doing? It's edifying the concept of being a Ghazi, to wage war against India, secular India, in the name of your faith. And viewers, let me tell you, with less encouragement, a large number of youth from this country, Muslim youth, have left to join the ranks of the ISIS, the Lashkar-e-Toiba, the Jaish-e-Muhammad. Viewers, the Darul Uloom may be in India, but its ideological proteges are today waging holy war as they proclaim from Afghanistan and Pakistan. Indeed, Islamic scholars, many political scientists, many who study history say that the ideological outlook of the Taliban, the Lashkar-e-Toiba, the Jaish-e-Muhammad and other Islamist groups have been deeply influenced by the teachings of Deobandi seminary. The fatwa raises several questions, and let me pose them for you, viewers. Is backing India's invasion by a religious force secular? Why shouldn't the Darul Uloom be banned forthwith? Will the SC that said that hate speech must be prosecuted take suo motu action against Darul Uloom Deoband? And if it is not, what is it waiting for? Christmas? Third, fourth, does the deafening silence of the so-called secular ecosystem suggest tacit support for this project, viewers, for Ghazwa-E-Hind? Fifth, would the reaction of the so-called secular liberals have been as muted had a Hindu religious body praised the takeover of India by a Hindu military in the name of the Hindu faith? Viewers, just think about all these things. These are fundamental questions that I'm posing, and we are going to ask them. But before I go any further, let me go across to Priyank Kanungo, chairperson of the NCPCR, who has sent this notice to the Deoband seminary. Now, Mr. Kanungo, why have you sent them a notice? What has alarmed you about it?
Actually, Darul Uloom Deoband is not a madrasa where children study 1,500 or 100 or 200 children are studying there. It is beyond that. It's an institution which affiliates madrasas across the South Asia, including Pakistan and Bangladesh. And children are getting academic affiliations through their madrasas from this Darul Uloom Deoband. Children are getting education as per the syllabus prescribed by Darul Uloom Deoband, the curriculum, the books and the advices in the forms of fatwas, what they are providing. In a particular fatwa, they have glorified Ghazwa-E-Hind. Ghazwa-E-Hind means attack on India. अब आप भारत पर हमला करने को अगर ग्लोरीफाई करेंगे और ये कहेंगे कि जो भी भारत पर अटैक करते हुए, भारत पर हमला करते हुए मारा जाएगा, which be that person will be supreme martyr, the great martyr, that will be called a great martyr, तो ये तो बच्चों के दिमाग में गलत चीज़ें, जहर, देशद्रोह, भारत के खिलाफ भरना ही हुआ. That's why Commission has taken cognizance and issued direction to the District Administration of Saharanpur to lodge an FIR against such institution.
Rashid Sharif Sahab, let me bring you into this. Do you think the Darul Uloom Deoband should be glorifying Ghazwa-E-Hind? Should it be glorifying the concept of the Ghazi? Should it be encouraging an all-out holy war against India? And if you don't think this is right, then should it not be banned forthwith?
बिल्कुल सर, ये कब की बात, कौन क्या कर रहा है, क्या बात हो रही है, ये समझ के बाहर है. ये ग़ज़वा-ए-हिंद के बारे में जो है, मोहम्मद इब्न कासिम जो पहली बार, जो पहली सदी में, उसके बाद से लेके आज तक, उसके बाद से है सो आप देखिए जितने महमूद गजनवी है, उसके बाद गौरी है, उसके बाद सिकंदर है, उसके बाद जो जो वक्तन सख्तन आते रहे, वो पहले की बात है. ये आज अगर आप देवबंद से जोड़ रहे हैं, इसको देवबंद से बात कर रहे हैं, तो आज की बात नहीं है. हमारे सरकार द्वारा,
मैं नहीं जोड़ रहा हूं, ये देवबंद कह रहा है. देवबंद अपने वेबसाइट पे ऐसा फतवा इशू करा है. दे हैव इशूड दिस फतवा सेइंग दैट दिस इज राइट, that you should carry out your holy duty, you should invade. I'll read it to you, sir. I am not lying. Holy raid of India is valid from the Islamic point of view. Sir, is this valid? Is this even secular? I'm asking you. Rashid Sharif Saab, should, no, one second. Should this Deobandi seminary be saying these things?
नहीं सर, ये तो मैं जहाँ तक मैं देख रहा हूँ, मैं समझ रहा हूँ, ये सब चीजें पुराने हो चुके, आए भी
तो और क्यों कह रहे हैं,
खत्म भी हो गया, वो
उसको रीटरेट क्यों कह रहे हैं,
खत्म भी हो.
No, one second viewers, this is not an acceptable. Instead of apologizing, Mr. Sharif, पुरानी बातें भी ऐसे दोहराना की है, ठीक है क्या? क्या पुरानी बातें भी ऐसे दोहरानी चाहिए?
सदी में खत्म हो चुका है सर ये.
तो फिर ये दोहरा क्यों रहे हैं?
नहीं सर, आर्यन भी आए थे. नहीं,
अरे भाई, आर्यन कहां से आए थे?
मुल्क कोई रिलीजियस फाइट नहीं था.
आप यहां झूठ मत बोलिए प्लीज, राशिद शरीफ साहब, ये झूठ मत बोलिए. देयर वाज नो आर्यन इन्वेजन थियरी. वो एक दो मार्क्सिस्ट हिस्टोरियंस ने आपको ये सब उल्टी पट्टी पढ़ाई है. मैं आपसे पूछ रहा हूं, डोंट गेट इनटू आर्यन वारियन. आई एम आस्किंग यू, डू यू टेक दिस एट फेस वैल्यू? डू यू सपोर्ट दिस? यस और नो? Do you support it?
मैं तो नहीं मानता हूं कि कोई देवबंद में इस तरीके का फतवा अगर, हाँ बिल्कुल सर, मैं तो नहीं मानता हूं कि इस वक्त कोई भी देवबंद से इस तरीके का फतवा आता है, क्योंकि हमको मालूम है. और
उनकी वेबसाइट पे है, आप गूगल कर लीजिए. आप यहाँ पर बात को गोल मटोल करने आए हैं कि सच सीधा जवाब देने आए हैं?
अरे सीधा सच, इसमें
डर की बात है. आप भाग क्यों रहे हैं इस मामले से? वहां उनके वेबसाइट पे सीधा दे रखा है ये फतवा. Anyhow, let me bring in. Look, viewers, now we are being accused of cooking up a story. I mean, where does one stretch this conversation? How does one even have a conversation in the face of these bald lies? Ratan Sharda, how do you respond to this gentleman, Mr. Sharif?
Well, Rahul, first of all, I must thank Mr. Kanungo to pick up this particular topic, because it should have been picked up by UP police, by NI or anybody. That Kanungo had to come into this picture because he looks after the welfare of children who are studying the so-called madrasa, with lakhs of people studying the same kind of theology, which we have seen what it is producing. Now, let me come to the main point. I will not even bother to respond to this Aryan invasion theory, because he is the person who belongs to the tradition which says earth is flat, which says sun moves around earth. So they don't believe in science. Now, so what about AIT? See, this particular hadith, the Maulvi clearly said, is from Marfu hadith, which is not recognized as the sixth recognized hadith. So it is imaginary, it is not given any respect in Islam. If that is so, did this particular Maulvi put a disclaimer that this is not a real hadith, it is not recognized hadith? He did not. So it's a deep mischief, because the same kind of language, Ghazwa-E-Hind, the name of the magazine, being published by Al-Qaeda of Indian subcontinent. It is alive and kicking. So are you going to deny that also? And further, Maulana Mufti Mushtaq Tijarvi of Jamaat-e-Islami itself had years back said that this is a fabrication, it's not a correct hadith, it should not be published. Despite this, if somebody who is supposed to be most scholarly seminary of Muslims in India, if that spreads this kind of hateful fatwa, which is equal to sedition, then action has to be taken, and they have no right to then go under some excuse saying पहले हो गया अभी नहीं है हम माफी नहीं मांगेंगे. Either he should have put a disclaimer, we don't believe it, and secondly, if they don't believe their own Maulvis earlier on, so this is purely a mischief created. Look at the chicanery of these people saying नहीं नहीं ये तो हो नहीं सकता. It is there on the website, and the people have not withdrawn it. So are you teaching these people
they will not
sedition?
withdraw it because this is what they espouse. So let me ask Mr. Sohail.
Al-Qaeda.
Well, let me ask Mr. Sohail. Let me ask Mr. Sohail. Mr. Sohail, आप secularism की बड़ी-बड़ी बातें करते हैं. I'm asking you, is backing India's invasion by a religious force secular? Number one. Number two, why shouldn't the Darul Uloom be banned?
सर देखिए, मैं आपको इससे पहले भी देखिए, आप सेक्युलरिज्म की बात करते हैं सर. आप ग़ज़वा-ए-हिंद को एक गलत नज़र से देख रहे हैं. वो एक RSS का बनाया हुआ स्क्रिप्ट नरेटिव आप बता रहे हैं, उस पर मैं डिस्कशन नहीं करना. मेरी बात तो ख़त्म कर लीजिए सर. इट्स ए स्पिरिचुअल मिशन फॉर प्रमोटिंग पीस, उसको भी ले सकते हैं आप. और देखिए, दारुल उलूम ने अपने से कुछ नहीं कहा है. उसने उनको एक सवाल किया जाता है, फतवा तो वो एक हदीस के बारे में उन्होंने लिखा है. उसके ऊपर देखिए, अब अगर आप कोई रावण को मारने वाले उनको अगर मारा है तो उनके ऊपर भी केस बुक करिए. देखिए, आप एक या धर्म के किताबों के अंदर जो लिखा हुआ है उसके ऊपर भी आप सवाल उठाया जाएगा और केसेस बुक करे जाएंगे. आप सेक्युलरिज्म की बात कर रहे हैं, आप डेमोक्रेसी की आप बात कर रहे हैं, तो पहले आप मुझे इसका सवाल दीजिए. आप क्या महाभारत के अंदर, गीता के अंदर आपका यदा
मैं आपका जवाब देता हूं. क्या है? मैं आपका जवाब देता हूं. मैं आपका जवाब देता हूं. मैं आपका जवाब देता हूं. सुनना चाहेंगे आप जवाब मेरा? आप मेरा सवाल आप सुनना चाहेंगे, जवाब सुनना चाहेंगे? मैं आपको बताता हूं. 1 minute, lower his fader because this is going too far. Viewers, it's shocking. He's an Indian citizen. Can you believe it? And guess what this? I am not quoting this. This is Darul Uloom in its own words. He says जो हमारी किताबों में लिखा है, जरूर लिखा होगा. सोहेल साहब must be right. He's a great scholar. But वहां तो इंडिया का जिक्र ही नहीं होगा. Viewers, because India was formed after 1947. On the website, what does it say? Holy raid of India is valid from the Islamic point of view. 1400 years ago, viewers, India didn't exist as a country on the map. So I want to bring in Rashmi Samant. Rashmi Samant, the Supreme Court, of course, talks big about cracking down on hate speech, etc. Do you think that the Supreme Court will step in here? Because look what this says. Holy raid of India is valid from the Islamic point of view. Whoever sacrifices for invasion of India will be a great martyr. Forget about Indian students studying there. In Pakistan, in Bangladesh, they will think this is their religious duty.
Well, Rahul, I think given the track record of the Supreme Court of India, I'm quite expecting them to redirect any, petitions made by citizens to the local court, either in Deoband or to the Uttar Pradesh High Court, because that's the sort of track record that they've shown when it comes to a particular kind of issues, right from the Kashmiri Pandits to the Sandesh Kali issue. So there's the clear bias. So I'm not expecting the Supreme Court of India to step in. That being said, I think this is very concerning given that Talibanis were originally called Deobandis. So the kind of influence that Deoband has, the seminary there has on people is immense, and the kind of human rights violation and the kind of abuse of women that this philosophy has brought in, the Deobandi philosophy has brought in, is heartbreaking. Even today, women are stoned to death.
Well, look, I'm not going to go into all of that. I am only going to say very clearly, viewers, very clearly, that the fatwa claims that the Prophet's close aide, Hazrat Abu Huraira, validated holy war on India. If you're going to quote this person, who says this, the message to the youth is, this is your religiously ordained duty. Go ahead, do it. Think about the implications, viewers, and therefore I ask my last question. Would the reaction of the so-called secular liberals have been as muted had a Hindu religious body declared that they will overthrow the elected government of this country and wage a Hindu religious war on the state? Think about that, viewers. No, they wouldn't have. They would have leapt out of their skins and they would have occupied Raisina Hill. Think about that. I'll take a short break, viewers.